What's up, internet? Welcome back to Sega Break. This is Linzer22. We all saw it coming, especially after 2020 and, COVID and all that stuff. But Sega is officially exiting the arcade business. Yes, I have said this elsewhere in probably other videos, I'm not entirely sure. But this is a complete exit. So before I said, Sega sold 85% of its arcade and amusement business to a company called Genda Incorporated. Well, Genda Incorporated has decided to buy the rest of the shares that Sega holds. So there we go. Sega is no longer in the arcade business. Sort of. Okay, so all of the Sega stores, arcades, and the Sega Entertainment line, they're all going to be changed to Gigo, or Genda Gigo Entertainment. And the only thing that Sega will be doing is they will be continuing to make arcade machines or manufacturing arcade machines. So you'll still see Sega arcades popping, not arcades, Sega arcade games popping up here and there. But overall, I mean, it's no surprise. Sega has made it clear that they're focusing more on like console games and all that stuff, and they're moving away from arcade games. They've been doing this for a while, especially since 2020 hits, which is actually kind of interesting because you guys might recall in 2020 they had that big announcement that they were going to turn all of their arcades into basically cloud servers, and people would be able to stream arcade games from the home. And it looks like they don't think that would amount to much, especially since they made that announcement, fully excited, and now they don't own a single arcade anymore. It's all owned by Genda now. Genda Gigo Entertainment. That's such a funny name, Gigo. But of course, if you live in the States, you know that arcades pretty much have been dead for a long time. Every now and then you go to a pizza shop, there'll be like a dusty old cabinet. I mean, the first time I played Virtua Soccer was actually, or Virtua Strikers, I think, was at an arcade cabinet at a laundromat. And honestly, I don't think anyone used that machine. It was just always on, and I was just bored one day and I plugged some quarters in there and played it. And then of course, if you remember going to like your local arcade, there used to be quite a few sprinkled all throughout town, at least where I lived. And slowly they all started disappearing one by one. Right now, if you wanted to play like arcade games, like you want to go to a dedicated arcade game place, just like the nearest one to me would probably be Round One, if you guys have ever heard of that. It's cool, but I mean, I feel like the only reason why people actually go there is because it's the only arcade in town. It's the only place to go. So yeah, because of the way things are, I feel like this was a long time coming. It was eventual. I think Sega's doing the right thing, stepping out of the arcade market instead of hoping that things will just go back to normal. They're thinking more about the future. And I think it's better this way, so they're not focusing too hard on pachinko machines and all that stuff. I'd rather they focus on their video games that we can play on PC or in consoles, because that's what we love, right? That's the only reason why you're listening to this channel, is probably because you've played a couple Sega games on a console or a PC and you just want more. So this is evidence that they are going to provide more on that front. They even made it clear that they're going to start acquiring studios if they need to, or just build up their own, which they did just build up their own studio, which is probably going to be for an online multiplayer game, which is they're dubbing their super game. So we'll see how that turns out. Well, anyways, I just wanted to make this video because Sega is, or was, the last large tentpole arcade business. So you can say that this is an end of an era, but you can honestly say that era has ended a long time ago, and this was just bound to happen. I hope that Genda, Gigo, whoever you are, your company stays afloat, because the arcade is an experience that should exist, honestly. And hopefully it still has more decades to come until its complete extinction. Although I'd argue that I don't think it would ever 100% be gone. We're always going to have arcades. We're always going to need a local place with a video game attached to something. So, I mean, if you have a pizza place or something like that and there's arcades, that's going to exist. It's stuff like that. It's just nobody's flocking to arcades just to play video games anymore, for obvious reasons. So, like I said, good luck to Genda Gigo. I think this is a smart move for Sega. What do you guys think? Does this affect any of you guys? Do any of you guys still go to arcades? Do any of you guys play the newer Sega arcade games? Or do you only play the retro games on MAME? Let me know down below, and if you like Sega discussion videos, I'll be back with more.